right, everybody, we are live right now. How is it going? eCom Tom here with Jason. We might have a bit of an audio issue right now, but guess what? I can't get it fixed right now, so it keeps happening on and off, so I don't know. So before we get into anything, please be sure to smash that like button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible, and hopefully the audio issue is not too bad. So everybody watching right now, please let us know who you are, where you're from, because we can't tell unless you comment. And yeah, so we do have quite the PowerPoint for you guys today. I think you'll learn a lot. It's pretty in-depth. So, you know, we're excited to show it to you guys. And, you know, we are coming out with a wholesale dropshipping course, and it's going to be launching when, Jason?
It's going to be launching Saturday at midnight. So it's going to be midnight Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout. If you're a subscriber, you should be getting some email notifications to your inbox that night with the exclusive link. That link is not going to be public on any of our social media channels or anything like that. It will only be displayed to people that have basically signed up to get those notifications. So be on the lookout in your email that you signed up with the pre-registration. Also, there's a link down below if you are interested in that pre-registration, pretty much an early bird special where you get 40% off plus 14 days before everybody else. And that link is down in the description. It's just a Google form so we can get your email information. And that's about it. So
yeah, so, you know, it's taught by Jason and I, and, you know, Jason has many a years experience in the game. I learned the whole entire process for you guys, came up with some pretty cool new techniques and everything, and some of it's going to be shown right now. So let's get into the PowerPoint that we have. I'm going to bring up this, and then we are going to go over here. So if you want to just do an overview, Jason, of...
Yeah, so today in our PowerPoint, we're going to be talking all about the different ways, probably the smartest strategies to going about finding wholesale suppliers, US-based wholesale suppliers that will dropship for you. And in this PowerPoint, we pretty much have some of the strategies that we go in depth on the course, and that's pretty much about it. There's going to be there's going to be a couple of ways to do this, but they kind of all go off of each other. So, you know, once you learn one, it's pretty easy to then go and learn another strategy. And then we also will have a best practices slide at the end, and that's about it. So hopefully we're good to go here.
Now we're good to go.
Okay, so I'll start this off, and the best places to find suppliers, wholesale suppliers, is going to be Google. I've talked about this in the past, and one of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Google and put in a targeted long tail keyword. Okay, so you're not going to want to put in generic things. We have an example here. Do not use search phrases like wholesale home goods. That's way too generic. The things that are going to be coming up with a search query like that are going to be retail websites, like Walmart, Amazon, eBay, etc. We're looking for legitimate US-based wholesale suppliers. So what you're going to do instead is use a long-tail targeted keyword like wholesale kitchen appliances distributor. And below, you know, you can see this is going to be what a search engine results page or a SERP looks like, and this is going to be one that has an ad on it. And we want to avoid anything that is an ad, because that means that the website is paying to be displayed at the top. We're looking for organic results only. They're called organic search results. And that is because wholesale suppliers tend not to spend their money on, you know, doing these types of ads. And so that's one way of just basically filtering out a lot of the retail suppliers. And what else do we got here? Also, get off the first page. So you want to go deep inside of the results. What that means is go on to page 5, go on to page 10, because that's where these wholesale suppliers are hiding out. They're not ranking very high for these, you know, the search phrases that you're using. So you're going to have to do a little bit more digging and also play around with the keywords. That helps a lot too, because the first time you're not always going to get a great, you know, results match. So that is going to be the first place you're going to go, is straight to Google, completely free. Go out there and start using some long tail targeted keywords.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting because I actually just typed in this Google search on, I just typed it in before I even searched it. I just put this in the PowerPoint, and I actually did end up finding a wholesale kitchen appliance distributor, like a drop shipping website, probably about halfway down. So if you guys want to look into that, you definitely can. But yeah, we do have static while we're talking. I can't fix it. I have no idea how to fix it. So we're going to move into the second PowerPoint slide here. And the second one's going to be directories. Basically, directory is going to compile a list of either wholesalers or drop shippers or both inside of it. Usually they have, either a large or medium-sized directory. There are some free ones online that might be smaller than the other ones, where they might not be the best, but you can start at least for free. So there's paid ones, there's free ones, and again, one of the best free ones out there is called Wholesale Central. It's a decent place to start. They definitely have a lot of suppliers on there. They do have like a bunch of different categories, and again, as I say right here, one of them is the dropshipping category. So you click on the dropshipping category, and then you're good to go because you'll find it right there. Also, be wary of aggregators and just ads also on these directories. A lot of the free directories will have ads in them, at least on the top, or, oh, this is a recommended supplier. They're most likely just paying to be there, and it's not going to be the best supplier for you. So there's some aggregators like Doba, Novatech Wholesale, there's Petra, there's other ones out there that are pretty much just taking just other suppliers and throwing them together and saying that they're a dropship directory or dropship supplier, and when in reality they're really not. They're just kind of just putting together a bunch of items, marking them up. You're going to have a very hard time competing with these items, or at least finding anybody to compete with. I mean, it's not going to mean that you won't make sales, but I highly doubt you'll make very many sales based off how many items you have to list. It's going to be it's not going to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then there's other paid ones. We've mentioned SaleWho before, which is probably the most popular one. And then there's other ones out there because SaleWho is pretty oversaturated. I would say lots of people talk about SaleWho, lots of people know about it. But there's some other ones that we will be mentioning inside of the course as well. But as long as you just type in wholesale directory or anything like that, dropship wholesale supply directory, you should be able to find one.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So moving on to the third strategy here, and this is going to be leveraging trade shows and trade show websites. So one of the best things that I've found, or best ways to find a big group of dropship suppliers, wholesale dropship suppliers in a given niche or industry, is by going to trade show websites. Almost every single industry that I can think of has a major trade show for it. Sometimes there's even 2-3 major trade shows for each industry or niche. So the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out a niche to sell, or something that you're interested or passionate about. Maybe you know a lot about a specific niche because you work in it, or that's a hobby of yours. That's a great place to start. So another thing about these, you're going to see something like an exhibitor roster list or something to that effect. It's kind of phrased differently on every trade show website, but that's really what you're looking for. Sometimes it's in the footer, sometimes it's directly in the top in the navigational bar, but you're going to have to do a little bit of digging. But that is where you're going to find a whole list of these suppliers, basically wholesale suppliers that are attending these trade shows. And that could be a trade show that was in the past or in the future. A lot of times what they do is they get archived, so you can go into a trade show website and it'll say 2016 trade show, 2017 trade show, and you can start clicking all the links that'll take you to the sponsored exhibitors. And that's a great way to go about doing it. And also, you can often find a PDF, which is usually a floor plan. And that floor plan will show you, it'll kind of indicate who the big players are in the wholesale game. So the ones that are usually closest to the front, they're closest to where the people come in, the merchants come in, those guys are going to be paying more generally because they're right at the front. The guys who are in the back, the ones who have their booths set up at the back, they're paying less. So the ones that are closer to the front, they're generally paying more. And what that means to us is that they're probably a more legit wholesale supplier, and they probably have more buying power and more sophisticated logistics and stuff like that. That's just the indication that you get because they're paying probably $10,000, $15,000. Sometimes they have multiple booths, but that's kind of a logical, rational way of approaching a floor plan.
But I think either way with the floor plan, first off, they're not always wholesale suppliers. I've noticed just through looking at it, sometimes they're just, they provide services to the industry or anything like that.
Right.
So you need to actually go through them. You can't assume that they're all suppliers. Some of them do, like the floor plans, I've seen some advanced ones, have like searches. Oh, do you want this type of, person to look at? But also if they're in the back and they're smaller, maybe they're more willing to work with you. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there where if they're small, then they might not have as much powerful, like sophisticated logistics or anything like that. But if they're large, then they might not want you because they don't really care about a small fish in a large pond.
Yeah, and we talk about in the course too how this job is a great job for a virtual assistant to go through these trade show websites, compile a list in a Google, a Google spreadsheet or Excel spreadsheet, and then kind of refine it down from there by giving them a quality score based on parameters that you give them.
So talking about some of the parameters here, we're going to talk about the top 5 qualifications of a good supplier. You want to start at the top here. If it doesn't have anything at the top, then you don't want to, check if it has anything below it, because, order fulfillment is probably one of the most important things here. Is there the ability that they're going to be able to drop ship for you? Is there no minimum order quantities? If they can't do that, or if you call them, or if you message them, or anything like that, sign up and they say no, then, there's really no point in even trying to pursue them after that. That's kind of where the lead score is coming from. After that, do they allow reselling on marketplaces? Because, a lot of us are talking about eBay dropshipping here, or Amazon. You want to make sure that you're at least allowed to sell on the marketplaces that you want to be selling on. We're not talking about building a website or anything like that. Although number 3 is, do they require a website? If they require a website, they're usually a lot more, I'd say, just strict on who they're accepting, and it's definitely good for you to at least create some form of a website. We teach shell websites. I have one. I think I pay $2 a month for it, and it's absolutely terrible. But it's gotten me past the website requirement. Somehow it has 5 items listed on it, of which most don't really have anything to do with the suppliers I'm applying to. Do they offer wholesale pricing? This is something, if they offer true wholesale pricing, it's going to be a significantly a lot less than what the MSRP is supposed to be. Jason says 50% a lot, but as long as it's in that range of significantly lower, but you'll see some of these aggregators selling it like at MSRP, or maybe just like $1 or $2 less than it. You're not really going to be able to make money, because most people are barely ever selling at MSRP. Most people don't even abide by the MAP pricing, which is the minimum price you're even allowed to sell it at. But, especially MSRP, most people aren't going to sell it at MSRP. And then brand selection. Do they have popular items? Can you find them from other people that are drop shipping on eBay or whatever platform you're drop shipping on? Do they have, a large brand selection? It doesn't really matter how big their amount of items are, but it always helps to have more than less, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now we're going to get into the last slide here, talk about best practices.
Okay, guys, so some of the best practices, and this is kind of a recap too of what we just talked about, is, search the bottom of the page for wholesale or distributor, okay? So when you're on these websites, there's certain things that you're going to be looking for, certain indications, and also something I talk about in depth in the course is red flags and posers. So there's certain things that you might find on a potential prospective wholesale supplier's website that stand out to you. They could be contradictions, they could be bad addresses, bad email addresses, fictitious addresses. These are all things to look for, but when you're on these websites, look for words like wholesale, distributor, dropship. Those are going to be potential indicators that they are a good wholesale supplier to work with, or at least potentially viable, right? This is how we go about filtering them.
It's just easier to find it at the bottom. Like, I'd say that's the first thing I would search for. Scroll down to the bottom, see if it says the word dropshipping, then you're like, all right, I'm in. Like, that's the first thing to check, I would say.
Yeah, so going off of that too is see if they directly mention dropshipping at all. So sometimes they won't even mention dropshipping, and sometimes I call up these wholesale suppliers and I don't even use the word dropshipping. I use the term order fulfillment in lieu of dropshipping because it's basically the same thing. But some of these kind of old school wholesale suppliers don't even, they don't even use that term dropshipping. So it's not an automatic thing to, it's not automatic that if they say dropshipping on their website that they're a true wholesale supplier, and it's not automatic that if they don't say dropshipping that they don't allow dropshipping, okay? So another thing is look for a registration portal, and what that means is basically like a dealer login or something like that. That's going to be a gated portal. That indicates to you that they have some type of wholesale arm where their wholesale prices are not displaying to the general public, and that's going to be a dealer login or a registration portal. And then also have all your documents prepared. You want to have all of this stuff prepared before you even waste your time applying to get, to be a reseller of their products. Because if you don't have your EIN number, if you don't have a website ready to go or a shell website ready to go in that specific niche, and then, what's the point of even wasting your time calling them up on the phone or filling out a wholesale application? You need all of your ducks in a row before getting on to that final step, which is getting a wholesale application. And then maybe even give them a call, because
scary.
It's one of the funniest things, because I know a lot of people out there, you guys might get, a little bit scared or cold feet when calling these suppliers. But honestly, that's been one of the biggest reasons why I've been able to get accepted by by so many wholesale suppliers in the past is because I call them up on the phone. I introduce myself. You know, I tell them, oh, this is my name. I tell them my company name. You can reach me at this email, and we just go back and forth. I ask them some questions, and once they remember my name, they will always respond to my future emails. It's kind of a good way to get your foot in the door and ask those questions directly, because sometimes on their website, all of their policies aren't stated, and you need to figure out the answers to these questions. And so that's going to save you a ton of time by just calling them up on the phone. It's old-fashioned, but guys, it's really, really important to get comfortable with calling some of these wholesale suppliers on the phone.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I think that was a very in-depth breakdown of what you need to do. You should easily be able to take this PowerPoint and just move forward and find some of your own suppliers on your own. We've already had people messaging us saying, like, who messaged you? Is Vinny messaged you or something the other day? That the live that we did on Jason's channel 2 days ago, which is, you know, lit a fire under his ass, and he already went out and found some other suppliers for himself. So, you know, just take action on this, guys. Again, so we have Donald Smith in here say, I'm ready. Plus respect. I'm about to absorb all this information like a sponge, take action, change my life. That's what you need to be doing. Again, you're not going to get a wholesale contract if you don't apply for it. And again, it might be a little bit more challenging to get get accepted and, you know, go through the whole application process than going onto Walmart.com and drop shipping straight from Walmart. But still, then you'd have to get tax exempt, and it's still a process, no matter what. And it's just that this is a more legitimate process, I would say. And again, a lot of people have been asking, are you stopping retail arbitrage? Like, not at all. I literally had my virtual assistant listing a bunch of items yesterday. I'm trying to make some St. Patrick's Day sales and see if I can actually just double down on a holiday. I think Easter is coming up early this year too.
Definitely.
So, I mean, there's always ways to be making money. I'm not going to stop doing wholesale dropshipping whatsoever. I mean, retail arbitrage and just moving into wholesale dropshipping. I started.
You're diversifying, basically.
Yeah, it's diversifying your income. You know, I'm not putting them both on the same account. I just don't really want to do it that way, but you could easily do that as well if you want to create a new account, go through the process of calling and getting your limits raised and whatnot.
So guys, we got 57 people watching right now. I hope our audio equipment isn't still bad.
It's staticky. It's definitely still staticky.
You know, I appreciate everybody coming out today. Smash that like button. If you enjoyed that PowerPoint, there was a bunch of good value bombs in there, and we're going to get to your questions, but make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.
Oh yeah, I'm about to hit 15,000 subscribers, so please help me get there. And also, I have my new Instagram, I believe, in the description. That thing is blowing up. You know, it's at 150 something followers now, so it's absolutely killing it. So we got Greg Endeman here say keep the info flowing. Looking forward to the new course. Thank you very much, man. Greg's always on the lives. He's always dedicated, and hopefully he takes action with the wholesale course.
We got Taylor from Montana in the house. Nice to see you.
How's Montana?
Taylor.
I want to go to Montana.
There's no flu up there, no coronavirus up there. Let's see, Boomer's from Mississippi. How's it going, Boomer?
Can you read this better, Jason?
Yeah, I can see that better. Oh, pull it a little closer there.
There we go, yeah.
Donald, you already answered. So Jameson Griffith, how's it going? What's up, guys?
Jameson hasn't missed a live, I don't think, in what, like months?
It's been a while. Jameson's a dedicated,
extremely dedicated
subscriber.
So you're gonna see, if you come on these lives frequently, you're gonna see the same people on here all the time, and those are the people that are taking action, that are doubling down, and using their extra time wisely. I made a video on Instagram today, or posted it today, about like you just spend 1 hour a day trying to make yourself better every single day, and I think this is an exact example of it. If you come on the live for 1 hour, or however long it is, you're going to at least benefit from it. You're not going to get worse, I'll tell you that. It's better than sitting there watching Netflix.
That's very true. So we got Donald Smith from California. We got somebody from Georgia in the building. Let's see.
Lives cancel, guys. Blame it on the coronavirus. Technical difficulties. We promise that we'll get the microphone fixed by next live. I promise you guys that, honestly.
I think you promised them that last time.
No, we didn't break the mic.
Oh, the camera overheated last time.
Yeah, the camera overheated. We fixed the overheating issues. Now it's the microphone issues that's been semi-ongoing for a while. What's up, guys? What's up? Arizona in the house. How was the trip, Jason? How was your trip, Jason?
It was great. I enjoyed it. I was down in Phoenix. If anybody actually cares, I was in Phoenix. I went up to Flagstaff. I was at the Grand Canyon. It's a pretty cool state, but I would not live in Phoenix personally, but it was
He
nice.
didn't truly like it, I guess.
I enjoyed the sun. I definitely enjoyed the sun.
We have people from Georgia, New York City, Las Vegas, Miami, Jacksonville, everywhere. Geez, everybody's telling us where they're from today. Hello, is everybody hearing the static? Yes. Do you use AutoDS? So I'll answer this question. No, I do not use AutoDS. I think AutoDS is not worthwhile if you're doing retail arbitrage, unless you really want to compete. I mean, first off, I don't know if their software is good. Their non-API version of the software. I have no idea if it's good.
They only integrate to a couple suppliers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So.
I have no idea functionality-wise if it works well. I've heard people complain about trying to load items or upload items through it. I'm really not sure. I have no idea about the functionality of it. But again, as Jason stated, it only has like 5 or 6 suppliers, one of them being like AliExpress, another one being another Chinese type supplier like that. You know, we don't really play that game. And you know, other than that, it's, I think, Walmart, Amazon, Home Depot.
Speaking of AliExpress, I mean, it's definitely a hot topic right now. And I'm sure a bunch of people watching right now either use AliExpress or, you know, you're looking into getting into AliExpress because it's kind of the hot thing right now.
Yeah, it seems to be.
You know, we've talked about this numerous times in the past, but I'm going to still stand my ground here and reinforce the fact that I think AliExpress is a bad supplier to use. I understand that they do have some suppliers that have a US location that you can drop ship from, but mostly, let's be honest here, predominantly those items have low QC, meaning they have low quality control. So the item that they're shipping out is probably really chintzy, cheap, and it has a higher rate of return because of the cheap quality of it. Secondly is the shipping and handling time. A lot of these items are taking 2, 3, 4 weeks, even longer to get to the end customer sometimes. And, you know, that's not a game I want to be playing, because if you end up having a higher rate of returns, you'll end up having a 5% increase in your final value fees if in that category you have higher rates of return than everybody else. So that's not really something that I see as a real sustainable model. These platforms like Amazon or eBay are looking to get the items to the customer as soon as possible with great quality, you know, great quality items, great metrics, great customer service, all of those things. They just keep raising the bar every single year. I've been doing this since 2016, and every single year it gets harder and harder. They're putting more and more things in place for us sellers to, you know, be compliant and to have great service to their customer. And AliExpress to your end customer in the United States is not a really great business model at the end of the day.
I've had people on Amazon literally cancel orders or try to cancel orders, return orders, or open up a return before the order even arrives because they think it was Amazon Prime or something when it was not Amazon Prime. And my supplier gets the item to people on Amazon in most of the time 1 to 2 days, like just 1 to 2 business days. But if they order on like a Friday and they think they're going to somehow get it by a Sunday or something, and they get mad because they needed it for like a party or whatnot, imagine if you can't get it there for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then also, how do you return it back? I've never even gone through the process of returning something back from AliExpress because I never sold from them. But how do you turn it back? I return it. I've heard issues. You know, it doesn't make very much sense. Are you going to go mail it back to China? I'm sure it'll probably get lost. Let's be honest. I mean, I do see the added benefit of you can ship throughout the world and stuff, and people are shipping to all these other countries. But to me, that's just added issues. I don't want to deal with things going to other countries. I only want to deal with the contiguous 48 states because there's enough people there to make enough money and not have to go everywhere else. So
yeah. Guys, I see the advantage with AliExpress in the sense that you have massive product selection, but the cons, in my opinion, outweigh the pros, and it just seems like it's the hot thing in this day and age is AliExpress, Chinese dropshipping.
Better margins.
It's just, you know, look at something like wholesale dropshipping and you get the best of both worlds. There's so many wholesale suppliers out there. There's so many great wholesale suppliers out there. I mean, you had that supplier just the other day that fulfilled that order in less than 24 hours. So these wholesale suppliers aren't taking a long time to get the products to the end customer. Plus, you are getting, we're getting 20% profit margin front end.
And handling time is the most important. It's definitely a lot more important than shipping time. Actually, the actual duration of time, the handling time, getting it out within 1 day or getting it out within 2 days, or at least within the allotted time that you promise, is going to be the most important part out of all of it. Because the fact that if you're promising you can get it out within 1 day, not only are you going to get a badge on your listings for the top top rated plus if you are top rated, then you'll also get a huge SEO boost for the badge and the fact that it's 1-day handling. And I've even been experimenting around with adding top rated plus to some of my items, and I can tell you that there's definitely a sales boost. It's a little bit of a risky game if you're not sure if the supplier 100% can get it out within 1 day, but primarily they do. So, you know, it's definitely something I've been playing around with. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to keep it forever or, you know, what the results are going to be. But again, that'll be another YouTube video somewhere down the line. So Christian says underwater basket weaving is untapped. That's what my dad always says that. Microphone making static. Yep, yes it is. What up, guys? Canada here. Haven't missed a live. There you go, Wags. Thank you very much for showing up. We've seen you on the lives before. We know who you are. And then Corey Knight says, you mentioned to start a website or already be selling in that niche. I am finding that if I drop ship random products, they say no. Would you suggest to stay in a specific, to stay to the specific to the supplier to help get the contract? Honestly, I haven't seen too much of an issue, but I kind of do stay, I would say, in the same-ish areas. I don't really, like, I don't sell toys or something, so I have my websites based around kind of like industrial-based supplies, cleaning supplies. So again, I think that could cover a lot of things like the janitorials, any restaurant, you know, the marine, and anything really in the business, industrial, outdoorsy type thing. I think my website can cover. So I think that might be something better to go off if you have a suggestion.
Yeah, so one of the things I talk about in the course is a mercantile store, which is a general merchandise store versus a niche specific store. And I also talk about, you know, just increasing your likelihood of getting your application approved. So with a general merchandise store, you're going to be able to put your hand in a bunch of different industries, right?
Yeah.
Because you're basically saying, I sell everything known to mankind, but the likelihood of you getting accepted by, you know, a company that more focuses on their industry or niche is a little less likely. It's still better than having no website, but it's not as good as having an industry specific website. And that's something I talk about, is putting up shell websites. So I can spin up a shell website in 30 minutes. Shell website is a website.
You can definitely teach a VA to do it too.
Oh yeah, 100%. A shell website is all that is a website that presents itself to be selling products in a given niche, but really you're just taking a couple of, you know, screenshots or pictures, you know, just some stock images, throwing them up there saying you're selling these items. The wholesale supplier is not going through your checkout. They're not going into your inner pages. They're just doing preliminary research to see if you have a legitimate website, and a domain that's specific to your website goes a long way too. But, you know, I don't want to get too much into that because it's an in-depth topic, but pretty much know that it's all about increasing your likelihood of getting an approval, you know, getting yourself approved. So I show you ways of getting yourself approved much more likely than if you didn't have a website or if you just had a general merchandise store and stuff like that. So
I've also seen before with suppliers where they're like, I had one supplier deny me. It was like more of a furniture-based supplier. They denied me, and then I called them and I asked why. And pretty much they said, because I don't have an online store yet that's really specific to their niche. So she said at that point, and I was like, well, can I even sell on eBay and Amazon? I never asked that before. She goes, well, if you do if you do some business with us, you get some of your items up on the store, and then, you know, you can start actually selling on eBay and Amazon. So at that point, if I wanted to, I didn't do it because they weren't that great of a supplier to begin with. But, you know, I could have spun up another website, even taken some of their items and thrown them on there, because they were saying just to throw up some of our items, take some of our items, put them on your store. Then at that point, I could have actually gone out and, you know, probably ended up adding them onto eBay and Amazon down the line, but instead I just found a retail supplier that sells their stuff.
Right. And that answer that you got from the rep on the phone basically gives you a foot in the door. That's a green light for you to go and sell those products.
And you have a contact.
On eBay. And you have a contact. Having that direct contact is big. It's very, very big.
Yeah. So where are we? SS4 Turles. Do you want to answer that,
Yeah,
Jason?
so SS4 Turles says, I've been watching your videos, Jason, and live streams, and if your course is half as good as your videos, it's going to be amazing. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. No, we put in so much. We put in so much work into building this course. I started making the videos right at the beginning of the new year, and we're still finishing up. It's over 115 videos.
It is.
It must be close to like 18 hours of content. It's so long, guys. So I hope you guys have you know, a weekend or something to watch it, because it's very, very long. I put a lot of time into this. This is pretty much you know, all of the knowledge that I've learned over the past 3.5 years doing this. So this isn't something that I just came up with, you know, 2 months ago because it sounded good. I've been learning this. I've been doing this behind the scenes for many years, and I've learned a lot of things over that course of time, and I put it all into this course for you guys.
So I think a lot of people, when they hear that it's 115 videos long, might get like overwhelmed at that. And honestly, you don't need to watch all of them right away. It's definitely a plug and play, like go learn as you go type thing. But I would definitely suggest trying to, at least with anything, even with free content on YouTube, you don't have to watch all of it, but make sure that you're at least ready for the next step of what you're trying to do. If you're looking for items, you know, be sure that you know how to at least list the items, or if you're listing items and selling items, at least be sure you know like what the metrics are and making sure that you're not screwing yourself over. Make sure that you're also ready for customer service when it comes down the line, because if you start selling a bunch of items and that's just where you ended your knowledge, at that point when the issues start coming in with returns or anything like, they will come. I mean, you're going to get returns. Every store gets returns. There's no way to avoid that. You can even put no returns and you're still going to get returns. There's no way there's literally no way to avoid it. You know, at that point, you want to be prepared for the next step. So that's why I always say try to learn as much as possible and always be ready for the next step. Have a system in place or an idea of what you're going to be doing, because if you're not ready, you'll get caught off guard. And that's where I see a lot of people making their biggest mistakes. Especially I saw, you know, just for a specific example, I saw a lot of people during Black Friday this year not really having their shipping and handling times extended for the fact that it was the holidays, which is, I would think, is something that a lot of people would want to start implementing or would implement. You know, you don't know if you're dropshipping from Walmart to eBay that the Walmart item is going to get out on time, because there's billion other people buying stuff for the holidays. You know, you need to kind of take that into consideration. So they weren't getting their items out in time. You know, it wasn't anywhere close to the handling time. They had like 10 orders that need to be shipped and fulfilled. Eventually, some people got MC011 or something about that. But if they took the time to think, hey, it's holiday season, it's literally Q4, Christmas is in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is from Black Friday, then, you know, I should probably extend my handling times. Don't try to make them more competitive to make more sales, because the sales are going to come. The sales are not the issue on most platforms, honestly. It's more about, everybody thinks about getting items. You know, I need to get the best items. I need to list all these items. But you finding the items, I would say, is probably the easiest part. The hardest part is all the back-end processes of customer service, making sure your orders get out on time, just keeping track of everything, making sure your orders get delivered,
making sure they don't get lost in the mail. Money not slipping through the cracks. Yeah. That's definitely a big thing, especially when you grow. Tom and I remember it was probably, what, 1.5 years ago where we started to realize, like, oh, there's certain things that are slipping through the cracks.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out processes to recover those or mitigate those losses, as any business owner should do. But those are the types of processes that will take you to the next level as a business owner, not even just a drop shipper.
Like 2 years ago, somebody was telling me that they were drop shipping primarily Walmart onto Amazon when it was a lot more, I mean, I guess a lot less saturated. And they were saying that at the end of the year, they calculated everything for the year, and they had like $9,000 in $9,000 in just returns that never got given back to them from Walmart, and they had to go contact them all. I mean, it was all virtual assistants that ended up doing it.
That's crazy. But again,
it's
a lot of money.
Issues like that you want to avoid.
All right, so let's move on to the next question here, and also, guys, smash that like button, because we got a great compliment right here from Vinny. Vinny says, got 3 more suppliers today. Thank you, guys. Applied to 6. 2 were scams. 1 was not for dropshipping. 3 got me on their catalog using your strategy. Made phone calls to all of them, and I live in Phoenix as well. Vinny, that's awesome. I'm super proud of you for taking the initiative. Vinny was the guy we were talking about earlier in this live. He's somebody who was on my live 2 days ago, who's taken the initiative to go and call up some wholesale suppliers. You know, he says 2 of them were not legit drop shippers, but he did find some, and now he's going to get access to their catalog.
I'd say 50% is great.
And that's awesome. That's exactly what I want you guys to start doing. He's somebody, though, who's not making excuses, and he's learning this. You know, I don't even have much information about this, and he's just taking it in stride and learning it based on, you know, the couple of lives that we've done. So that's awesome, Vinny. Keep it up, and I appreciate the kind words.
Thank you. So we got Eric in here. Eric's our Instagram guy. Thank you for showing up,
What's up, Eric? How's it going?
So Steven Loyoza is, hello guys, running late, it's all good, at least you made it. Thoughts TV says, do you have to add shipping to the price for SKU Grid when listing from sources that uses calculated shipping? SKU Grid does it. SKU Grid does it for you. SKU Grid has some form of, I don't know, a bot in the background or something that adds items to the cart. It uses the same zip code every time if there is the ability to put in a zip code. Some websites have like static shipping. If it's $1 to $10, it's this much for shipping. If it's
flat rate, yeah.
If it's $10 to $25, it's gonna be this much for shipping. Some websites have that. SKU Grid has that all calculated in. Some have $5, $5.99 like Walmart, unless it's over, what is it, $35? If it's over $35, then it's free. That's all calculated in as well. And then some have just location-based shipping, and that's probably the hardest one for a program to actually be able to handle and calculate. But what they do in SKU Grid is they actually use one static zip code, and it's 11101, and that's New York City. So I don't think it's the best zip code, but I haven't really messed around with the zip codes because if you're shipping from one supplier on the East Coast to New York City, it'll probably be a lot cheaper than shipping it to California. But again, it doesn't really lead to too many issues. So yeah, SKU Grid calculates pretty much every form of shipping. If you were to have it, or if that supplier's to have it, it does it for you.
Yeah, and I also have a module in the course where I show you how to come up with average shipping costs for your supplier, and that's going to be like the example Tom said, when you have variable based shipping. So if the supplier that you're using calculates the shipping as soon as they know the customer's address, that's going to be kind of a monkey wrench in there. You're not going to know exactly how much the shipping cost is, but I've come up with a formula basically of averaging it out, and that is going to cover most of your bases, and I have a module in the course about that. Yeah. Okay, so John Arducci says, do you test suppliers on eBay before using them on Amazon? Yes, I do. John, that's a great question. That's something that I have done a lot of times because eBay is a lot less strict on us as sellers. The ramifications of screwing up, in my opinion, are much less. And you can talk to a person on the phone at the end of the day from merchant support. On Amazon, it's all automated. It's all bots. It's all people who are outsourced from India trying to meet quotas and stuff. It's very cryptic. It's very hard to gauge when you're going to get in trouble for something. So I always test.
Or what you got in trouble for.
That's true. I always test specific products on eBay before migrating them over to eBay. That's an intelligent way of doing it.
I do think that's a great idea, and that's another example of like high-level thinking in this business. There's one way of thinking. If you're a beginner, most people will probably just want to upload as many items from Walmart onto eBay as possible. But you got to think about, or whatever supplier on eBay as possible. But you want to think about what if you're going onto Amazon. Just don't bulk upload all these items if you don't know that the supplier is going to be worthwhile or even work. And then at that point, leave yourself screwed on Amazon, because I'd say an Amazon account's definitely, it's very valuable. Even stealth accounts sell for like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So you having an Amazon account is literally you having an asset, and you cannot lose that. eBay, if you lost one eBay account, there's a chance you could probably just spin up another one, and then after that, it's a lot easier to go stealth if all shit hit the fan, basically.
Also, I feel like eBay is a lot easier. Even if they say, hey, we want you off our platform, you could definitely go and reason your way back.
We had a student the other day message me on Facebook, say, got my eBay account banned, I have no idea why. And then I was like, did you call? They said, yeah, I called the lady had no idea what she was talking about. And then I said, just call again, and then she called again, and then she got her account back. And it was literally because she didn't do the verification process that literally every account has to go through nowadays. So again, you can call some human beings and actually get some form of a result, and you can even get people directly in America with a specific phone number that we keep secret for some course students.
And pro tip too, guys, and this goes for anything that you guys do, whether it's calling up an insurance company, whether it's calling any company, really, credit card companies, eBay, Amazon. What you're going to want to do is, if you don't get an answer that you want, is hang up and call again. I do it all the time.
Isn't it called hookah?
Yeah, they have an acronym for it in the industry. It's called hookah. Hang up and call again. If you don't get the answer that you want, all you have to, and you can't bully the rep on the phone or assert yourself there, or talk to somebody from leadership who can actually get something done. Hang up and call again, because these reps, there's so much variability between talking to rep A and rep B, and I do it all the time. I say, all right, I just hang up the phone and call again.
Yeah.
And then I don't like the answer I get, I hang up and call again until I finally get what I want. And that's what you have to do in anything in business, is you have to be persistent.
Very true. So Stephen Loyosa says, hey, Tom, what are the main reasons you think my store is having a hard time to make sales? Thank you. Honestly, that's probably the most vague question we've received all day. I have literally no idea what you're even like selling or what your method is or anything about your store. So I'd say that the number one reason is that you should give me more, at least examples
How
here.
many active listings do you have?
I'd say the number one reason is, no matter what, is going to be price. If you're not tax exempt, or if you're not selling high selling items at a good price, a reasonable price, then you're not going to be making sales. Especially that with handling time added in, if you have extremely long handling time, then again, that's not going to be, that's not a good combination. But I'd say the three things are, price, handling time, and then making sure that when you're sourcing items from Zik or whatever you're doing, that they're, they have high sales velocity. If it sells once on eBay in 30 days and there's like 20 people that sell it, there's a high likelihood that you won't be one of those people.
Yeah, that's low demand and high competition.
Yeah, but if there's 10 people and it sells 100 times across 10 different accounts a month, then there's a high likelihood that you'll make a sale at some point in time, as long as your other two factors, price, handling time, are in the ballpark. And I mean, obviously metrics and everything else that should be taken into consideration no matter what.
Yep.
So
all right, so Lorraine Bracken says, do you need a reseller certificate to get accepted to get a wholesale account? And then I also see somebody says, under that, Latravius McKay says, do you need LLC for wholesale? So these, I knew these are going to be very frequently asked questions. So as far as an LLC goes for doing wholesale dropshipping, guys, LLC just stands for Limited Liability Corporation. Tom and I both have our own single member LLCs. That is our choice as far as, that's our legal entity.
Make your own choice, though.
You guys can have a sole proprietorship, a C Corp, S Corp, LLC. There's different entity types. That is just, that's specific to you. Every business has its own needs. So it doesn't matter if you're an LLC or a sole proprietorship. All that matters when getting accepted by a wholesale supplier is that you have an EIN number. And that EIN number is designated to you from the IRS, which is the Internal Revenue Service, Big Brother, the guys that shake you out at the end of the year for money.
The guys that make you calculate how much you owe them, but know how much you owe them anyways.
Right, exactly.
And then will come after you if you don't have the right amount.
So that's who designates you an EIN number. An EIN number is pretty much the social security number for any business owner. That is a number that's designated to you. It's completely free. So you just need an EIN number. Doesn't matter what legal entity type you are. And then if you wanted to answer the other question.
So to go off that with the reseller certificate, all a resale certificate is a piece of document from whatever state you're in usually, unless it's the multi-jurisdiction form or the streamlined sales tax form, which are pretty much the same thing. It's basically a document from that state or from a form that says, I am buying products from this supplier and therefore resale. But what you need, not every supplier, I'm assuming almost every supplier will ask for one. I haven't seen one that hasn't, especially in the wholesale world. They're going to ask you to fill out the multi-jurisdiction form, and then they're going to say if your state's not on the list, Massachusetts, Mississippi, other ones, Tennessee, I forget, it used to be off the top of my head. But if they're not on the list, then they'll ask for a resale certificate as well. Usually, if your state's on the actual multi-jurisdiction form, you're good to go. But again, all you need is just a sales tax ID. The whole essence of the resale certificate is getting a sales tax ID. So again, instead of needing an LLC or a sole proprietorship or anything, you just need to get an EIN number based off whatever your business is. It's the same thing with a resale certificate. You need to get a sales tax ID in your state, sign up at the Department of Revenue for whatever state you live in or whatever state your entity is in, and then you'll be able to get the resale or the sales tax ID, which then all you do is fill out a resale form and you put that ID on there. So the resale certificate is pretty much just it's per supplier. This is one supplier, I give them this. There's another supplier, I give them that. It's the same one, just with the other supplier's name on it every single time.
Yeah.
But the main thing that you need is a sales tax ID.
Yeah, and
that's basically saying, not to cut you off, but that's basically saying I'm going to collect and remit sales tax in that state.
Right. And one of the things I liked when I was living in Rhode Island, or when my business was based in Rhode Island, Rhode Island's funny because all your your tax ID number is just your EIN number
Yeah.
plus 2 zeros at the
Yeah.
back or at the front or something.
A lot of
So I
them
used to just print out a whole bunch of these forms, and I would just have them on standby. Basically, I would just write them in the old-fashioned way. You could do it on DocuSign or whatever, but you just have them on standby, and every time you are going through the application process with a wholesale supplier, I just write it in and send it in, and that was it. It was really easy because the only difference with each supplier is it has to say like you are selling goods from this supplier, basically. So it's pretty, guys. It's really not that complicated. And also, I do want to tell you guys that we are not CPAs. We are not legally authorized to give you any tax advice whatsoever. So I have to throw that disclaimer in there.
Yeah, let's have some disclaimers.
To protect ourselves. So let's keep going here with the questions. We have a question from Mari, and it says, hello, gentlemen. What about international drop shippers? How can we get reseller licenses? Can you tell me more if you had international sellers cases? So Tom and I are not international. Either of us are international. We're both based in the United States. However, we have had a lot of students in our manual eBay dropshipping course who are doing quite well with it, and we have a done-for-you service basically endorsed in our course where we have somebody who can help you out, get your EIN number if you're international, get you all set up in the U.S.
That's pretty much all you need is your EIN number. Once you get your EIN number, you're most likely all set at that point. Ruben is the person inside of our course that does it for internationals. He's an international himself. He's from the UK. We even had somebody in our course say they bought one off Fiverr the other day. And I actually found the gig, and I don't know, it didn't seem too illegitimate. It just did not seem like the place to be doing business like that.
Right.
I was quite surprised. So we have eCom Tomcat in the house. He says smash that like button. eCom Tomcat is another one. He's coming out to all the labs. He even changed his name because he was also eCom Tom at one point in time.
I remember that.
I forgot to mention that. It was a long time ago.
So Wag says Jason is the Dan Bilzerian for e-commerce.
Just wait till you shave your beard.
Also, guys, anybody who's watching right now, let me know if you can come up with a good stage name for me, because I was made aware of this the other day that I didn't have a very approachable stage name.
Jason.
So we got eCom Tom. I don't have anything. I just have my first name and my YouTube channel.
Somebody told Jason that his name didn't roll off the tongue well. His God-given birth name just wasn't for his stage.
If anybody comes up with a good name, I'll throw you a $50 bill. How about that?
There you go.
So differential equations. All right, we already know we had some audio issues. We're going to get that fixed on the next one.
So Jameson Griffiths says, my goal is to be on your show at some point this year. I want to be killing it on eBay. Slowly but surely getting there, enjoying the process. Thank you very much for at least providing everybody insight onto what you're doing. I believe what are your sales at? If you want to tell us, if you get. What was the threshold I had people coming on the channel for? I haven't had anybody on the channel in a while.
15K, 20K, 10K, something
There's
like
so
that.
many people in the woodworks. If you're watching this and you have our course and you are doing well with it, because I can find you on eBay. I find you all the time on eBay, and you're not posting in the group, and I can understand why, but at least message me and say, hey, I'm doing well, because I can find your store. I'll start posting stores up. I'll do it. No, I don't want to do that. But yeah, so we'll move on. King Arathim says, can you guys give an idea how much on average are the discounts that wholesale suppliers offer? Is a lot bigger discounts when buying in bulk?
I'll talk about this.
I mean, we're not going to be buying in bulk.
So yeah, we're not going to be buying in bulk because that would kind of defeat the purpose of dropshipping. Although you could use the data that you gather from dropshipping to sell in bulk or buy in bulks very specific products. So let's say, for example, that you've been dropshipping a product and it's selling really well, let's say 5 times a day, whatever. And you want to get even better margins, just go and buy that product in bulk and you'll get even better discounts. So that's one thing. You're asking about, on average, what are the discounts? One of the things that I like to talk about is keystone pricing. So what that means is...
Keystone light pricing, they say.
I wish it was keystone light pricing. But keystone pricing is pretty much a pricing structure that has been commonplace within, retail and wholesale supply chain, and it goes back to like hundreds of years. This is just the standard practice. So if you have a product that has an MSRP of like $100, let's just say $100, the keystone pricing, or the price that I would be able to buy it at as the retail supplier buying it from the wholesale supplier, is at $50. So that's basically a 50% markup. So Keystone pricing, 50% markup to MSRP, or the other way of looking at it is a 50% markdown. So that's kind of like our goal with Keystone pricing, but you're not always going to be able to get that. Sometimes you'll only be able to get 30% discount, 20% discount, anything less than that, and it's kind of hard to it's not really. That could be an indication that they're not a real wholesale supplier and could be an intermediary, basically meaning that they're another drop shipper who has put themselves in front of you and you're now buying from another drop shipper. And we want to eliminate the middleman.
I want to be one of those people at some point.
There's a lot of them out there.
They're
They're snakes. They're definitely...
All right, I don't want to be it if you called it a snake.
They're snakes.
You ruined it. So Mary or Mari says, how much is the price, boys, for the wholesale course? I'm just interested about international case. Need to work on U.S. wholesalers. I'm working on eBay dropshipping for 2 years from Amazon and going for wholesale. Yeah, so I mean we've been talking for a while about why you should not be doing Amazon onto eBay, but I understand a lot of internationals still do it. The price is going to be for the pre-launch, which is down in the description. Check it out. It's just a Google form. All you have to do is fill it out, put your name and email. You'll get an email on Saturday night into Sunday. And it'll be $400 off, so it'll be $597 altogether. So it starts off, it's originally $997, $400 off is what you'll get for the first, 2 weeks is what it's going to be. And then it officially launches on April 1st.
And we're going to revert back to the original full price. So make sure to fill out that form down below if you haven't already. And all you need is your name, email, and be on the lookout, guys, especially if you're on the East Coast, because you're going to be getting access at 9. It'll be 9 our time, midnight Eastern time. So just, I would stay up for it, honestly, if I was you. But we'll keep going here.
Me too. It's like Christmas. So John Bender says, Walmart had a few-hour live thing a couple weeks ago, and they said they had issues first week of December. Well, at least they're admitting it, honestly. Good for them. So he says, do they tend to ask your approximate monthly sales of that niche as a pre-qualifier if you're worth their time? Would hate to say a large number and then only sell if you do not. Well, first off, John, I'm going to tell you right now, blatantly lying to a wholesale supplier is probably one of the least worst things you'll be able to do. I blatantly lie to credit card companies, so let's just throw that out there.
You'll get a lump of coal for Christmas if you lie to them, though.
I mean, I've had some ask me, and I just tell them that overall on eBay, I've sold millions of dollars on eBay.
Yeah, it's all about the way you phrase things. It's really all it is.
Schmoozing them. You got to get on their good side if you're calling them.
Yeah. So that's honestly though, Tom's right. It's all about the way that you phrase things. If the wholesale supplier has a pre-qualifying question on the phone, says, well, how much are you doing in sales? And let's say you're only doing 1,000 on eBay or whatever. Well, you just rephrase it as, well, I've been in business for the last 3 years and I've done X amount of sales across 3
I
sales
plan on
channels.
getting into this niche now.
Exactly. I plan on. Immediately refocus or rephrase the way that the question was asked and say, I plan on. I can be an asset to your company by doing this, this, and this. And that's one of the things that I put into that call script. I have a call script that you guys can use when you're talking to these people on the phone, and I give you tips and tricks to going about talking to these people.
Yeah. So Lazy Abram said, would you still use SKU Grid for wholesale dropshipping the way you'll be teaching? Or do you use something else that is better for this? So yeah, there's definitely a way better software out there than SKU Grid for wholesale dropshipping specifically. SKU Grid definitely does have some wholesale suppliers on there. Not that many actual legitimate ones, but they do have some. So you could use those. There's like 1 or 2 overlap between the two suppliers, SKU Grid. I mean, between the two software, SKU Grid and the other one. That there's very few amounts of overlap. But if you get a CSV file, which is one thing I've talked about in the last 5 lives, if you're getting a constant updated CSV file in like a Google form, or Google Sheets, or something like that you could upload, or changes on its own, then SKU Grid actually can intake that, and you can kind of just make your own items up and make your own suppliers. I've never messed with it, and it's something that I want to do for the first update of this course. But again, it's already 115 videos long, so I don't know how much more you want to hear both of us talk.
That's probably a pretty advanced topic too, so we'll wait to put something in like that. So the next question comes in here from Princess T. She says, my eBay account, I don't know if it's a she, but sorry. My eBay account got MC011 and I've had no luck getting it back. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, if you could leave us a comment and let us know some of the circumstances around it.
Or why you think you got it. I always ask people why they think they got it because they always have an answer.
Yeah, that's true.
They usually know why.
Yeah, LaTravius McKay says he likes hang up and call again.
Your cousin's
Remember
on
that
here.
one. What's up,
Alexander, what up? The Wolves of e-commerce. Jason the champion. Not there you go. That could be a stage name.
If that's from Wolf of Wall Street, then you know maybe we should go with something like that.
Hey guys, thanks for the course and all the information you two put out there. I started wholesale about 2 months ago, and just going off of what Jason talked about on his channel, I will definitely be buying. Thank you very much, Sydney. I appreciate it. You know, Jason's channel is definitely very in-depth. I don't have a link down, but look up Wholesale Dropshipping Champions, and you'll be able to find it. Thank you for the plug. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Ken Morehouse says, Tom, love your course. Thank you, Ken. Glad you enjoy it. You guys continue putting out great content. We'll fix our audio issues, and you know we got the visuals. I'd say it's great quality. But
Also, let me know whose shirt you like better
you can't
today.
Say that. Mine are all dirty.
Let me know whose shirt you like better today because I'm still wearing the Hawaiian shirt. I thought every single live we're supposed to be wearing Hawaiian shirts. Evidently, Tom thinks otherwise, and yeah. So I don't know what you got to get some more Hawaiian shirts because the people
I have
obviously
more than
love
you. They're
Hawaiian
just dirty.
shirts. It doesn't matter if it's dirty. You gotta wear it for the live.
A dirty one. This came all the way from Puerto Rico. I haven't done my laundry.
I thought you got that from Kmart.
This one came from Kmart. Yeah. It's a $5 Kmart shirt. I'm balling out.
I thought Kmart went out of business.
I had an Instagram story the other day of my exotic whip. You know how everybody talks about their getting their Lamborghinis, and it's just my Tacoma. Look at the exotic. So Skepsy TV says I stopped dropshipping from Walmart and Amazon altogether. Opened a new account and eBay suspended it indefinitely. I took down all items from 2 of my stores. They said they coming for other accounts. I mean, I don't know what that means. I still have 2 unflagged accounts that so you kept going. I still have 2 unflagged accounts that I'm still using. I mean, if you keep making new accounts when you have unflagged accounts, at a certain point, you don't really need to be making new accounts. I have a lot of accounts. I've never really gotten issues. But I don't know, did you fail the verification test? Because even with the new wholesale account, I literally created it. I got banned. I got unbanned. I called and got a limit raise of 100 items. I got up to 100 items. The guy was being an ass. And then I was mad about it. I then did my special trick, and now I have 2 billion item limit, $2 billion limit, and I have almost 500 items up on this store that's not very old at the moment. So, again, I mean, you really need to know. You need to know how to work the system.
That verification step, guys. That's kind of.
That's why that girl that I said that got banned, and then she said that she couldn't get her account back, but then she called again. Yeah. She didn't get verified.
There's so many.
Just call in. You might as well do it sooner rather than later.
When you open up a brand new eBay account, you're going to go through a verification process. This verification process didn't exist when we first got into eBay dropshipping. It's something that they implemented in like the last year or so. And all they want to do is check your public record information. They want to know that you are who you say you are and that you're not trying to get around their system and fraud, you know, take on a stealth account or fraud their system some way. There's a lot of fraud that goes on the internet, so they're putting in this step. As soon as you list, usually it's when you list a new product, your very first item, you'll get this, you know, canned response.
It's all the same questions too.
Your eBay account is temporarily suspended, and you have to take action. The action is calling in, verifying you are who you say you are. And a lot of people get scared and they just never sell on eBay again. Just call them up, and you should be good to go. So eCom Tomcat says, Tom, here's my favorite.
Here's the most vague question of all time. What's the meaning of life? I guess that's true. It's more vague than Stephen Loyo's is why isn't my account?
Dude, I might need some glasses, honestly.
You can't see this?
No, I can now, but even with, what are we at, 2x?
Dude, these things are, I went 26 years ago.
So Skepsy says, I have 2 unflagged accounts. Okay.
Alexander, this is your cousin.
My cousin says, you guys should make an FAQ guide so you don't have to answer the same question over and over on these things and give your customers more quality time to catch the actual jewels you drop. Thank you. I appreciate the thought there.
Even if we put out an FAQ guide, it wouldn't get read. So.
That's what I was about to say. Even if we have an FAQ guide, I don't think people would read it. So the live experience is a unique experience, and every live experience is a unique experience. So LaTravius McKay says, how do you build a website?
Jason has a video.
He bought one from Fiverr.
No, I think that was... Oh, did you buy a website from
Yeah,
Fiverr? Or was he talking about when I said that person bought an EIN from Fiverr?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you bought a website, believe it if you bought a website on Fiverr as well. And
Maybe
I'm
it's
sure,
tenor at that
I'm sure
point.
it's a pretty low quality website. But I mean, if it gets you to where you need to be, then so be it. I don't trust many things on Fiverr unless it's like basic graphic design, maybe like a thumbnail, like a YouTube thumbnail, but that's about it. I think Fiverr's kind of low quality graphic design.
I think it's great. Literally, the person that makes our thumbnails is
Yeah,
from
but
Fiverr.
he was a diamond in the rough, let's be honest. He was the pick of the litter when it comes to Fiverr.
All right, so Monthea Trey says PayPal has been placing on hold. Oh, we're already at an hour. All right. Has been placing on hold all my transactions exceeding $100 because I quote, the system has noticed an explosion in sales. It will stop when the system notices. Yeah, you're the only other person that I've ever heard get the same thing. I've gotten that before. That was in May 2018 is when I got that, when I made a new account and I went from 0 to 63,000 in the first month. And anything that was over $100 did get held. It wasn't for very long. It did end up I think it was only like 3 or 4 weeks maybe, but it's definitely a thing. And I'm glad that I'm not the only one that ever got that because nobody's ever told me that they got it before.
So Trabuck says, who drew the background?
Me.
I drew it.
I did.
No, my girlfriend actually drew that. So smash that like button if you guys like that background.
Yeah, it's
that did
beautiful.
take a long time, and it is actually made out of chalk. Like that whole thing was hand-drawn chalk. So smash that like button if you guys like that background. John Arducci says, all I'm selling right now is cleaning supplies, lots of soap. Wow. That's pretty
People
awesome.
are dirty. They need to get clean.
Oh, here we go. We got some good ones. We got
eCom Jason, that's unoriginal.
eCom Jason, I can't do
JCom.
that.
I like
JCom's actually decent. eCom Jason can't do that.
The e-commerce train.
No. We need some good ones. Jason, new name is Wholesale Jesus. I kind of like that one.
Shipper.
That's not bad.
The bearded whole
Oh, they're
shipper.
coming in. There's even more. Okay.
eCom Blackbeard. Princess, not to skip your question, Princess T says, I have a stealth related question. LOL, I can send to your DM. Yeah, please DM me about it because I don't want to get into stealth on this live. We're almost done here. The Hawaiian shirt wins. What a surprise. Jason wearing the better shirt. I've been selling for over 2 years, 50 items in my store and make at least 10 sales per day. Thanks to Zik Analytics, it's easy to find items that sell, not sourcing from any major retail suppliers. There you go. Thanks, Tom and Jason, for the wealth of knowledge. So, see, it's just great when you get results like this. The guy was being an ass. Yes, he was. All right, so we're almost done here. We're over the hour mark, so please be sure to smash that like button so that we can get this out to as many people as possible. We went over our time limit. It's like we're staying after school, like I said on the last one. When they banned the new account, I called for verification. The lady didn't ask me any question, just reinstated the account. And then they banned it again and said, now it's banned indefinitely. Called again. The guy said, take your business somewhere else. While trying to have it reinstated, the girl said, do you drop ship? I said, I have suppliers for the item and have the product in inventory. It doesn't sound like you lied well enough. I'm going to tell you that right now. On the video, I was going through the video where I called for a limit increase, and then guys telling me they're not dating. We literally got asked this on the last live. So I can't even keep a straight face now. So I lied to the person on my the call for the limit increase in the course, and basically he asked, am I dropshipping these items because I only have one basic picture of them? I said no, I'm getting them wholesale and I'm getting them shipped to my place. And at that point in time, he was fine. I don't know, Skepsy, what happened with yours, but you said you have 2 other accounts, so you should be fine. Just don't mess up on those.
And no, Skepsy, Tom and I are not dating. It has been confirmed.
This is literally the second live in a row.
John Arducci says, Jason the wholesale hustler. eCom Tomcat says, wholesale pirate. You guys are coming up with some good ones, but we're not quite there. I'll know the great one when it comes across. I'll throw you a $50 bill. I know you're out there watching this. Even if you watch it on the replay, let us know in the comments because I'm looking for a stage name for sure.
There you go. All right, so that's about it. We did our presentation. Our audio sucked. We have a wholesale dropshipping course coming out on Saturday. That's the
We're gonna do another live, right?
We're gonna do another live when?
Let's do it Saturday.
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. We'll do it Friday, maybe.
Maybe I'll try to get a YouTube video out Friday. Do one Saturday.
Yeah, why not?
Or Sunday.
Also,
we could do one Sunday.
Yeah, we could do Sunday too.
Sunday.
Link
Sunday
down in the
it is.
description.
Don't
Link,
go to
link,
church.
link.
Don't go to church. Go to our live. It is basically church.
Click the link down in the description. That is the Google form. Just fill it out, name, email, and you guys will be in the early bird special pre-registration.
There's literally no commitment. It's
no
just
commitment.
you putting in an email and saying that you might be possibly interested in getting $400 off or 40% off the drop of the course. Wait, are you guys dating yet? Now we're dating. Yeah, we definitely are.
Oh my God.
So, all right, we are all done with this live. Thank you guys very much.